Today on SPG1 Tactical, we unbox, go over the features, and take a look through the Primary Arms GLx 4.5-27 First Focal Plane Rifle Scope. I've included chapters to jump to each section if you'd prefer to skip to the features, look through, or closing thoughts. Those that follow me on Instagram know that I'm in the process of building a precision gas gun. We're not quite in the final form yet, but it's getting there. And one of the most important pieces of a precision gun is the scope. Now, my budget has been pretty tight, but I'm also fully aware that a scope can make or break a precision rifle. Fortunately, optics technology, glass clarity, and turret precision has become more accessible at reasonable price points, and I had the opportunity to purchase this Primary Arms scope. I didn't quite have the money to go to the Primary Arms PLX series scope, but I also wanted to step up from the entry-level SLX scope, and therefore settled on this GLX, which is Primary Arms mid-tier scope in that lineup. But enough talk, let's jump into an overhead camera and unbox this thing. All right, so here we are. Let's open this top up. And inside you can see we got some padding with the scope in the middle. Let's see, we've got our reticle manual for the Athena BPR mill. And then we've got our first focal plane scope manual. Looks like we've got some scope caps here. That's nice, it's a auto pop open. It's nice to have. These are Butler Creek caps. Pull the scope out. In addition to the scope, let me put the box away. Looks like we've got a terry cloth and some Allen keys. And this Primary Arms like terry cloth. Taking the foam off here on the ends. And we got this plastic protection here. All right. And then we've got our scope. So in the box, we have our scope with our throw lever. We've got our Butler Creek caps, our manuals, our Allen keys, terry cloth, and that looks to be about it. All right, let's jump into the features. I'm just going to go over the highlights of the scope features as this is all publicly available information. The Primary Arms GLX is a 4.5-27 power first focal plane rifle scope, has a 34mm main tube and a 56mm objective diameter. Sitting at about 14.5 inches long, it weighs in around 33 ounces or right around 2 pounds. The reticle on this particular model is the Athena BPR mill, which is a mill-based Christmas tree for windholds and also has a built-in ranging reticle. The reticle corresponds with 1/10 of a mil adjustable turrets. The turret windage adjustment has around 84 MOA or 24.5 mils, and the elevation adjustment has 120 MOA or 35 mils, providing a very generous range. And the turrets have a zero stop function with locking buttons to make sure that you can always find your way back to your 0 point and that the turrets don't move without direct input. The throw lever that comes with the scope is the fixed version, but it is swappable for the folding version if you desire that. And the reticle has 10 brightness settings for varying lighting conditions if needed, with an off setting between each illumination. All right, enough with the boring paper stuff. Let's go out and get an initial zero and look through this thing. So what we're trying to do here was go out and shoot 5 round groups to be able to zero this thing. We had some wind, full value, slightly variable. Went ahead and loaded her up
charged it, and then sent 5 rounds downrange to see where we were on paper. And after shooting 5 rounds, the nice thing was we had a nice 1 MOA group with just regular junk ammo. We're about 1.5 inches right and 2.5 down, so we went back to the turrets and dialed up somewhere between 0.6, 0.7 mils up, and we went 0.3 mils left, and went back and shot another 5-round group. And then after this 5th round, you can see that we were darn near right on the money. Maybe another click left will do it. Elevation was great, so that was pretty good. Then we're jumping here. You can see the reticle. This is about 10 power, and just you can see the Christmas tree reticle and how this is lining up at a target at about 100 yards, and see all the wind hold available there. From here, we're going to go. This is 4.5 power. We're zooming in to 27 power. Now, as you can see, 27 power, this is through a cell phone video. So, it's a little dark, or at least darker than it is in real life. And as we zoom back into that 27 power, you can really see how much mirage that it's picking up. But it definitely is much clearer in person. The cell phone camera obviously is not as high quality, but I wanted to show it in a different mode here. So this flag is at about 312 yards. So we're now at 27 power, 312 yards on a, the next day was a little bit cooler, so not as much mirage. So you can see this is still a very clear scope, even out to distance. So again, at 312 yards, 27 power, you can see very clear. Next, we're jumping into the reticle illumination. So I turned the lights out and just started trying to record these reticles. You can see we started off at 10. We're working our way down. It's progressively obviously getting a little more dim. And as we get into, especially here at 4, you might be able to see it, you might not, but 3, 2, and 1 weren't really visible.
All right, we just unboxed, went over the features, and took a look through the Primary Arms GLx Rifle Scope. I think for the value, it's going to fit my needs just fine, and as I'm not doing halo jumps or banging it around the streets of Iraq, I'm sure that the durability will suit my purposes, which will be precision rifle competitions once the gun is complete. The magnification range is quite large, and in fact, you could see that the 27 power gave ample magnification and really picked up on that mirage. It may not be the clearest glass in the world at maximum magnification, but it will still provide plenty of ability for target acquisition and target identification. And realistically, it was much clearer in the 4.5 to 15 range, which is where I'll probably stay anyways, as too much magnification is a real issue in competition and tactical purposes. The turrets had positive clicks, though a bit smoother than I would have expected. Not bad, just not very hard stops. The benefit to this is that dialing can be accomplished very quickly if you're going by the turret readings instead of counting clicks. And on the milled turrets, it's very easy to quickly read where you're at in your dialing. I also really like the locking feature and the zero stop of the scope turrets. When you dial back to 0, your turret automatically locks, giving you no doubt that you're back at your starting point. And you simply need to depress the button and dial to move it. In this case, I like it better than something like the Vortex turrets, which require you to lift the whole cap vertically. But one of the things I didn't like about the turrets, and this is personal preference, is that zeroing out the turrets is a bit cumbersome. It requires 2 different sized, very small Allen keys, and you have to remove the turret and then adjust the locking mechanism. Now, on the one hand, I'm sure this helps keep things very precise and is because of the locking system. But on the other hand, it requires small tools, 6 screws, and time. So if you're changing rounds or zeroing at a new location, you'll need to remember to bring the 1.3 and 1.5 millimeter Allen keys with you and give yourself a little bit of time to adjust the turrets. One other small thing to note is that the scope did not come with a scope shade. I'm sure this is a small deal, but for a scope that's around $1,000, it's a small accessory you'd think would be included. Scope shade is for sale separately at $40 on the Primary Arms website. Either way, the scope is now zeroed and solidly sending rounds downrange. I'm looking forward to getting some more time behind this rifle as the project continues. And as it progresses, I'll be bringing you more component reviews and eventually a full build video. If you found this video informative or helpful, please use those trigger fingers to tap or click on those like and subscribe buttons, as that greatly helps the channel grow. To find S2S 5-in-1 Gun Lube, endorsed gear, book suggestions, SPG1 Tactical t-shirts, and a copy of the book that I helped to co-author, The 6 Bullets You Can't Leave Home Without, head over to SPG1 Tactical.com. For outstanding training, check out Intuitive Self-Protection at intuitivesp.com or the ISP Facebook page, where you can find course schedules, videos, and student testimonials. And lastly, be sure to stay safe, stay smart, and stay tactical, my friends.